The person who invented the car clutch is truly a genius. Without it, cars wouldn't be able to shift gears smoothly. First, the flywheel is fixed to the engine with bolts. When the car is moving, the flywheel is always rotating and allows the flow of power to disconnect from the transmission input shaft. Note that the transmission input shaft itself is not directly connected to the engine's crankshaft or flywheel. Instead, it is connected to the engine's power through the friction disc. The friction disc is sandwiched between the flywheel surface and a movable pressure plate. The clutch plate assembly is splined to the transmission input shaft, allowing it to slide back and forth. When the driver releases the clutch pedal, the pressure plate gradually presses all the parts together, connecting the engine's power smoothly. To further ensure smooth power transmission, the clutch disc has a built-in damping system. The friction disc floats on the transmission input shaft. Power flows from the disc through damping springs then to the rotating top plate. The center of this top plate is splined to the transmission input shaft. The springs constantly absorb vibrations or other potentially harmful irregularities in the power flow. Now, let's take a look at how the pressure plate moves. The pressure plate is connected to a special diaphragm spring. This powerful spring naturally presses the pressure plate against the flywheel. There are hooks on the outer cover that firmly secure the diaphragm spring in place, acting as a pivot point. There are also support plate springs attached to the pressure plate and cover. The clutch fork is located at the center of the diaphragm spring. When the clutch fork moves back and forth, it presses on the release or throw-out bearing, which in turn presses down on the inner part of the diaphragm causing its outer edges and the attached pressure plate to lift up. Let's watch this movement a few more times. The clutch fork acts as a lever and a pivot. Located inside the transmission casing, it is driven by a hydraulic actuator, which connects the clutch pedal to the actuator and fluid reservoir. Finally, have you forgotten how to use the clutch now?